Are you able to hear me now? Ah, shoot. This drawing channel did not have the new... This drawing channel did not have the new audio settings that I put on the other channel. On this kitchen channel, it has different mic settings. And on the drawing channel, I hadn't put those mic settings yet. And so when I have to turn the old settings off for those new settings to work. And that means that the old settings were off this time. And it was a shame because I could hear myself in my headphones, but I had the volume on the stream down low. Shoot, that means that I spent the first 10 minutes of the stream totally silent before you came in. I was talking so much about music and about D&D characters and stuff. That's just 10 minutes of silence, right? Oh, that sucks. That fucking sucks. Oh, man. See, that's what sucks about if you don't have people telling you, hey, we can't fucking hear you, you will never know. You will not know as a streamer unless you, like, have yourself doubled on stream, like that kind of thing. And so it's always super nice when people say to a streamer, like, if people tell the streamer, hey, we can't hear you, or if they tell you, like, hey, your volume is way too loud. Anything like that is, those people are angels. Anyone who does that to a streamer is a fucking angel and is a blessing and should be blessed and thanked. Because they are the ones who prevent stuff like this from going on for too long. But to, I guess, repeat, I'll just go to the stream after this is done and just edit out those silent 10 minutes and just, like, you know, cut that part for a sec. So in that case, I'll just redo my intro now that people can hear me. And so hello, welcome to my kitchen. My name is Cup Goodle. I'm a sentient cup of noodles, and today I'm going to be doing my last little drawing session of these characters here. This is a human echo fighter D&D character who can create a shadow copy of herself that she can send out and do fights and cause problems with. And she is not my character. She is another person's character who was described to me, and I am drawing from that description. The description was a woman with the build of He-Man and the, you know, muscular. She's got a medium length hair that it looks like she took a knife to, which is why it's all straight edged. And she uses her shadow echo to just, like, cause problems, go around taverns, picking fights, chugging, you know, beers, and, you know, flirting with women. So I have her and her shadow echo both just kind of flirting with the same nerdy looking woman in between them. And that is gonna be, we're gonna, like, you know, finish coloring a little bit, which is mostly just what we need to do. A little bit of design work on her still. But I also just wanted to show off the music that you're hearing right now, because this is music that I just experimented with recently. So normally recently I've had, so the couple of songs that I've had on the channel so far. Here is the first one that I had for the first 6 months. Let me turn that up a little bit. It's a nice, just a pleasant acoustic guitar. And this is actually a light version of a different song that I have not yet played on the channel. It's the same chords, but I really like it, especially this part coming up. When it goes to more minery. And then the 7th chord. And it loops back around like that. The 7th chord coming up. That's my favorite one right there. But the whole point is that that's been the standard one that I've used for a long time. And then for the little new re-debut kind of thing, I made a new one, which is this one that you've been hearing recently. very upbeat, very pleasant. Really sounds like you're having a good time. Really sounds like you're in like a nice JRPG, like farming simulator or something. Like you're just having a pleasant time in like a peaceful town. And it mostly just loops that bit, but occasionally goes to this little ending bit that you'll hear right here. And then repeats after that. And it's a very, very nice, like in a little repeating riff. And I have a new one. It still feels, I feel like it still needs a little bit of cleanup, but it is another new one that I have just recently like kind of spliced together. And it goes like this. So a nice westerny sound, western bluesy sound that loops right about right here. So it plays those three chords, but I really like the melody with that higher one, that higher acoustic line that's gonna be coming in right now. That bit right there. Really like that. And then the wow, do 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 wow. So we've got a very, very nice westerny feel. It's a very, very nice subdued, and like I like the change of pace between that one and the previous ones. This one is definitely, like, all of those are pretty much my style. This one I feel like is more my style. I definitely do a lot of the sort of bluesy western style. I mean, of the Steel Drivers. I don't know the Steel Drivers, but they definitely sound like they are sort of a, you know, steel guitar kind of slidey westerny band, westerny group, just based on their name, Steel Drivers. I should check them out if they're anything like this, because I love this kind of music. Ghost of Mississippi is fantastic. Okay, that title of that, anyone who puts Mississippi in a title, anyone who puts Ghost in a title and Mississippi in a title, those are like the two things that all blues music have, is ghosts and Mississippi. And so, yeah, that's definitely, I gotta check those. I gotta check out Steel Drivers if this reminds you of them. That sounds awesome. But not only is it a good sort of break from, I probably would. I do love this kind of music. Not only is it a good break from the previous sort of like background styles that I did, but also like I do want to clean it up a little bit. You can probably like I want to that bass pound there. I want to adjust the EQ to make it a little bit deeper. Maybe just see how it sounds if it's a little bit deeper. It might be distracting on stream, so I might not end up keeping it, but I want to see how it sounds if it's a little bit deeper. There's like a second at the very end where apparently it doesn't cut off quite at the correct period. I need to cut that a little bit so that it loops a little bit more closely. I don't really want a pause and then a restart, so I need to adjust the ending. And you might hear occasional clicks in the song, where it's just like random, it almost sounds like a CD skip kind of click. And that is, or like a record pop kind of thing. That is just because those are where the tracks are spliced together, and it isn't spliced perfectly. Where anytime, like if you splice two things together, you want to find a place where both tracks have like no frequencies playing, where they're both like at 0 and then splice them together like that. If either of them are not at 0, then you can get a click sound when one track ends and the other track like kind of starts right behind it. And so there might be something I could do. Like I've got the perfect timing, but the perfect timing, you always do EDM so that, yeah, maybe you can't hear that kind of stuff. You can't always easy splice. Yeah, very easy splicing. You can, which is the one problem you have with like, you know, live music, and especially that I have, because my low strings on the acoustic guitar and the pound that I do for the bass drum are so vibratey, like so sustained vibratey, that there isn't really any time where it's at 0, where the frequency is totally flat. There's basically always gonna be some sort of little rumble, and so there's not usually a really good spot to splice that. And I might be able to finagle it if I do some noise reduction right around the splice, but the bad part is sometimes the splice is like, the right splice spot for all of the rest of the things was to do it like in between, like where, like halfway through a note, where I'm like ding splicing, and because like I had a second track that spliced that note really well, I could splice the two together, but you get this click in between. I'm not sure if I can noise reduce all of them or silence all of them. I don't know. It's gonna be tough, but I'm gonna try to clean it up a little bit. I might add right now there's a center, a track that plays in the center and a track that plays on the right side. I have one that is panned to the left as well, but I'm not sure if it would be distracting. Like there is definitely what I'm realizing now is that there is an art to doing background music that is very different from doing full music, because you need to do something that does not distract from your voice. You need something that your voice is still perfectly audible, like over, and so you don't want any frequencies competing with your voice. You don't want like people to be confused about what you're saying. It needs to be fairly recognizable at low volumes, and so if it's some sort of like noise or some sort of like really low rumbling bass, if you turn that down, like a lot of it's gonna be lost. And like really low rumbling bass is not really that important for background stuff. Where I'm now starting to like, you know, have a little bit better idea of, oh, if I do this kind of thing, that would be a bad thing for background music. That would be too close to my voice. For example, you should never have vocals in a background track if you're being a VTuber or like, you know, just doing a thing like that, because two voices happening at the same time on stream, even if one is really quiet, are going to be very distracting. It's going to be very hard for people to tell what you're saying, even if both the voices sound different. And so I think I'm getting a little bit better at deciding. Don't want it to be repetitive or exhausting. I'm usually okay with repetitive, but as long as it doesn't, as long as it's entertaining the whole time, or very, very, like a lot of video game music, especially early video game music, if you don't recognize where it's repeating. Like if it has this loop to it that maybe repeats, like a lot of video game music repeats every minute, you know, every 30 seconds or every minute, but it's a seamless enough repetition that you don't really realize where one part ends and repeat. Where like if there's an A part and a B part, sometimes you don't recognize where the B part ends and the A part starts again. Or maybe it's like A, B, A, C, A, B, A, C kind of thing, where like the C throws you off to make you think that there's like always going to be some different stuff, and it isn't just the same A, B, A, B. So there, yeah, if you can get it to where it repeats, and you can even start to recognize stuff, and you can even tell where like that it is repeating, but you don't really notice it in the moment, not until like you actually think about it or actually listen to, then that's fine too. That becomes just sort of an audio illusion that you just sort of get hypnotized by. You're just like, I mean, yeah, like, you know, it's repeating, but like if you don't recognize it in the moment, then it's successful. If you don't pay attention to it you're successful. Like, that's the funny thing, is background music you often don't want to pay attention to. You don't want to think about it. You want to take it in and have it affect your mood, but not notice it. Not realize that it's doing it. And of course, like, it can also just help to fill the gaps. If there's a quiet time, then you just go like, oh, that's during the quiet time, now I'm just hearing the music, and you start to go, oh, actually, you know what, I do like this music, it's kind of nice, but you really only notice it at that point and then forget it as soon as the more important thing, the person talking or the video game notes or something like that, happens. So yeah, that's the goal. Also, another goal that I have with this stuff, which is funny that I mentioned all this stuff, because me mentioning all of these things, me mentioning the music, me mentioning how I'm doing the music, me mentioning the parts that I need to fix about the music, is highlighting them to my audience. It's highlighting to them, to like anyone watching, where if they weren't noticing it before, now they will notice it, which is kind of bad for me. I shouldn't be doing that. Like, if the goal is for them for the audience not to notice any stuff like that, it should be better for me to not point that out and just keep it a mystery. But I like talking about what I do so much that I can't help myself. Hardware or software, I record with this same mic, which isn't the best for music, but it is the highest quality mic that I have, and I just record with Audacity. It just goes through my normal Go XLR. Again, not the best audio interface for music, and into Audacity. So the simplest, like the least optimized for music, but it's a mic, it's a audio interface, it is a free program. Hello, Scal, how you doing today? It's great to see you. We're talking about music, we're talking about background music right now, because I'm playing this new background music that I just recorded for the channel. You can probably hear it. Yeah, nothing wrong with any of that. Yeah, it's very much like it is the simplest thing, but if I paid for more back in a minute, gosh, you go ahead, you know, we'll be here, we'll be drawn and stuff. Like, if I paid for extra stuff, like, I need to make sure that I can actually finish a thing before trying to go super hardcore with it. Like, for streaming, I bought all, like, except for the Go XLR, which is expensive, but it's not necessarily the best audio interface, it's just a very, very handy one. Sort of like a bunch of stuff that you want to do in one. But besides that, I did not shell out a huge amount of money for any of the setup. Like, I got myself a pre-built computer that was mid-range, like mid-tier. I did not go high-tier anything, high-price, high-tier anything. It was like, I can't remember if it was closer to 1,500 or closer to 2,000, but it was like a pre-built build that was very like mid-range. And for the mic, I got, like, you know, the package, one of those, it's like the AT2020 package for like streamers, which is very, very cheap but reliable and fine. And it comes with, like, you know, the mic arm that you can adjust on your desk. And I'm just using Audacity. I'm using Streamlabs, OBS, you know, all OBS stuff is free because it's all open source. You have thousands of dollars in hardware and loads of software and or for straight audio recording. I fall back to Audacity often. That's very funny. I don't like Audacity, to be honest. I kind of hate the user interface and wish that it was a little bit, just a little bit more attractive. You can hear that pause that I want to get rid of. I wish that it was just a little bit. It looks like a computer program from like 1982. It looked like it hasn't been updated in 30 years, 40 years. And I wish that it changed slightly, but it has most of the stuff that you need, if not everything you need. Some of the like hotkeys and buttons and options you knew. I wish that they had some shortcuts to them. But you know what? It's fine. It works. It works for what you need it to work as. And the main reason why I didn't want to go super high quality with any of the hardware that I got, Ugly lets me down with crashes far too often, but it's quick. And I haven't had any crashes so far. No crashes, so knock on wood. But like the reason why I didn't go high quality, high tier with any of my hardware was because I have a problem with getting work done. I have a problem with starting work and getting it done, where I will delay working on stuff for so long that it never actually starts, and I'll procrastinate so long until I like get last minute panic, and then I might start. And it's so hard for me to like finish stuff. I like, you know, if I don't enjoy the work, then like it's gonna be so hard for me to finish stuff that like I didn't even know when I was buying all this stuff if I would even end up being a VTuber. I didn't know if it was going to be successful or not. Like, I didn't know if I was going to actually be able to make a channel, finish all the art for it, finish music for it, continue streaming, like, you know, make my model and do all this stuff. I didn't even know if I could. So I was not going to shell out a whole bunch of money to test. But I also knew that if I wanted to do it and if it was successful, I couldn't have the lowest tier or anything, because then I would just be rebuying it. It's like, okay, yay, I succeeded at starting. Now I need to buy new stuff just to make sure it actually works. So mid-tier everything was fine, as long as it was like of decent enough quality that it didn't feel bad using it. So that was the goal for everything. High-end mics are unnecessary unless you make a living with your voice. But yeah, you know what? I agree, but they're also just like, I do want to make good quality stuff. Like, I want to make good quality music and want to make good quality streams and want to like have good quality anything. And like, it is right now of lower quality than I wish it was. That doesn't, it's quality that I am okay with. I'm okay with people hearing, because like most people aren't going to realize that anything's off. Most people are just gonna be like, oh yeah, this is nice. But like, I definitely wish it was higher quality, and I do plan in the future on upgrading a whole bunch of hardware. But right now it's still in the just see if I can actually do it. I need to prove to myself that I can actually record music and get it done, that I can actually finish art and get it done, that I can actually do things like ASMR or reading streams or talking streams and get it done. Speaking of which, I'm gonna be ordering myself an ASMR mic, and that one I'm just going, you know, the like cheapest common one that's just the Blue Yeti. The Blue Yeti that has the you know, bi-directional and omnidirectional like, you know, mic settings. It's the like one of the cheapest ASMR mics that you can buy, and it's just a USB mic. And so you don't even need an audio interface for it, or a preamp or anything for it. It is plug and play essentially. Like, I think you might need a software to go with it, but it's essentially just plug and play. That like, I think the Blue Yeti quality on ASMR is fine. Like, there's a lot of really good videos that use Blue Yetis. But I would love like a really high quality 3DO or equivalent for like future stuff. But first I need to see if I can actually do it. At first I have to prove to myself that I can actually make an ASMR video or have an ASMR stream and have it be even somewhat enjoyable with some of the beginner equipment. And if it ends up being enjoyable, if it seems like I can do it consistently, then I will think about upgrading in the future. Those will be treats to myself for like milestones or just whenever I feel like it. But yeah, so that is the state of music and stuff. We have this music playing right now, and I'm still going to change. I'm going to go back to our original little like happy music that we've been using for the last couple of weeks, because this is, I feel like, better for a drawing stream, just an enjoyable, lighthearted drawing stream. And the Western one is just a little bit, it feels like it's like, you know, kind of putting people into a deep state, like a sleep-like trance. You love buying gear? It is good. That can be an addiction. Buying gear can end up being an addiction if you aren't careful. There's a lot of my friend is the type of person who loves buying gear, and I can feel the desire to buy gear that I do not need, and luckily am able to abstain most of the time. where I don't really need to worry. But like, it is so easy to just get tempted to buy just so much extra gear of stuff. All right, let's paint layer that, color has just that. All right, we are that layer there. We have Cora there and Cora there. Two different Coras, two different flavors of Cora. And the top here, the high neck blue top, that's just sort of like a one-piece pullover top, with the shoulders off. Like, that is the sort of inspiration behind her there. You can't see her neck because her chin is kind of pointing down because she's big, thick-necked, but that is the sort of inspiration behind her top here. And I did like the idea of these furs that Cora is wearing on the side there. I do really like those, and I might copy those. I might just copy those, like, you know, if she is kind of like that, like to actually have the furs come down. But I feel like there needs to be something a little bit different. Maybe, like, you know, fur stuff on the shoulder a little bit, like, you know, fur stuff coming out here instead. This is kind of funny when I do it like this, because that kind of gives her sort of the like the cut-off jean sleeveless vest, like she's like a redneck in like a denim like jacket with the sleeves, like, you know, cut off and it's all frayed and stuff, which is kind of funny. But it might work. It might be fine. And then I don't think I'm gonna be giving her armbands or things like Cora has. I don't think I'm gonna be doing that. I do think that she's probably going to have like a bunch of scars and stuff all over her arms that you can probably see. So I just need to decide. Right now it's already fine. Like, I could color this right now and we would be fine. I could color this girl. Scars are badass. Yeah, and that's what, you know what, the original description said, that she has a bunch of scars. So we're gonna give her a bunch of scars. I could color this right now without adding anything else. I could color the nerdy girl. She's got enough lines to her that I could make a simple color. I could color the beefy girl, and the shadow is pretty much gonna stay like this. But I want to just add a little bit of detail, just some sort of design or fur or something, you know. I just need to decide what. I need to decide if it's going to be exactly Cora, or if it's going to be similar to Cora. I could do something like that, or it could be just like that. Also, I think maybe an extra hand like that. I could do the hand there and have it be basically just like that, and you can't really see the elbow because it's kind of coming back like that. But the other option besides that would be sort of upwards, just sort of propositioning like that, where it's also back and it just sort of has her hand up. Where she's just gonna, hey, come on, you know, what are you, how you doing? And between those two, let's see, which one would I like better? Between those two hands. They're both good. The first one is very hands-off, no pun intended, and the second one feels very hands-on, again, no pun intended and not meant literally. Like this one, the first one, it seems like she is not talking, you know? This one, it seems like she is talking, even though her mouth is going to be closed on both things. And so do we want her, and of course the echo probably can't talk, but it is doing all the body language. And so do we want the one on the left? Do we want the warrior on the left to seem like she is actively like talking with her hand up as just she's like, you know, warrior splaining things to the girl in the front, in the middle, or like, you know, propositioning maybe some like, oh, but I get you, you know, an extra drink, you know, kind of thing. Or do we want just hands on hip, where it seems like she's not talking right now, and they're either just like both just kind of silently looking at her and that's causing her to be flustered, or maybe they just said something and are now just letting it hit her. Those are two different scenes. They're the same vibe, but they're two different scenes. So which scene do I want to depict? Both of them would be fine with this lean. Both of them would be fine with this body language. For this one, I might move her over slightly to the right, the center girl over slightly to the right, so that she like isn't covering up that hand. Doesn't look like she's touching her. That or hands on hips. Let me think. Hands on hips. Looks like that. This is tough. This is a tough one. Okay, well, luckily, that's very lucky. So I can do both layers and just see which one I like better. Redo this slightly. All right, so we have that one or that one. Probably the hands on hips, just because this one I'm not so sure about the hand angle. I feel like it is. Yeah, I think just the hand on hips is probably the best one. So let's get rid of this hand here. We can copy and paste it to keep it for other times if we want it. We can go copy and paste, and now we can cut that part. Oh, whoops, we do not want to cut. Undo property changes, undo cut. We want it on there. Cut. Well, now what the hell? Undo cut, undo property changes, undo add layer, oh, I think I copied the wrong layer. Copy and paste, and now in this one we can cut. Good. So now we're at good. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the hands on hips. Hands on hips? Yeah, I agree. This one, it just feels like the pose makes a little bit more sense why you can't see like her arm around the back. So hands on hips there. I needed to think of two things. I need to think of a waistline and if I want anything on it. Like, is it gonna be more of a high waist or is it gonna be more of a low waist like that? And if she's gonna have any sort of belt or anything. So that is not quite enough of a curve. So we want a bit more of a curve, downward like that. Do we want... I don't want her to just be exactly like Korra. There needs to be something unique. I've already done the the little shoulder bits. Should I have a little bit of fur coming out at all? I like the fur because it adds something to the silhouette. I think I'll keep the fur just because it's good for the silhouette, even if it is, I feel like a little distracting, but we'll keep the fur. In fact, you know what? I'll just keep those lines as is. Those are fine. Now, waist, I feel like we need something around the waist. And obviously we have the waistline that we can use. It needs to be a little bit lower. This is this waist here. It needs to show the curvature of her hips, which another thing that I realized that I did, these boobs should be a little bit different angled. This layer. No, not that layer. This layer. It should be a little bit more like that. Like this part should be more upward to follow her shoulders. Ah, darn it. Yeah, I forgot it doesn't do parts for partial steps. Yeah, because what you want to make sure that you always do is, however the shoulders go, whatever line the shoulders are on is generally how like the bottom of the boobs should go as well. And so the boobs should technically be like this one here should go up and the bottom should be like that. And if the shoulders are pulled up, the boobs get like pulled up, like the muscles get pulled up along with it and they flatten. And so if we want her like this shoulder to be raised up like that, it pulls up the pec muscle and will like from the top and will kind of flatten the curvature of that boob. But I don't think we're going to worry about the flattening just because that would require me trying to figure out how to draw it. So I think we're just going to keep the curvature a little bit. Right now this is straight and these it doesn't quite match up, but it is a little bit better than I had it before where it was like that, which is not quite correct for the curve. It makes this boob here look way bigger than that boob. This is a little bit straighter, and maybe I'll do it just a little bit more. I'll put this inward just a little bit. I'll put these tilted up a little bit more. Now the one problem with tilting it up a little bit more the useful thing about this is it made you kind of ignore this big trapezius muscle back here, and just seemed pretty normal, pretty regular. The farther I go up with it, the more there's just like this huge space right here that, all right, I think this version is probably the best middle ground. That version right there is probably the best middle ground. And maybe slightly more actually sideways. So between that and that. I think this is what we want to go with. There's this, there's that, and I feel like we like that the best. Okie dokie. Now, what do we do about the waistline? We can either go more or less Cora. You know what? Actually, that's interesting. It's gonna make no sense, but let's do that. Let's go with a fur-lined belt. As opposed to furs around the waist, we'll go with a belt that like this, and we'll do it a little bit above this side. There, and let's just have a little bit of none. Yeah, it's gotta be sort of bigger. Just a fur-lined belt? I'm not so sure about that anymore. Unless maybe we just make the fluffs a little bit bigger. No, not feeling it. Not feeling it now that I'm looking at how I would draw it. No. Maybe I will just keep it as is. Maybe I will just ignore everything else and just say we're done with it. Or maybe I will just copy Cora. Sure, you know what? Let's be a hack. Let's copy Cora. We want that top one. I think that top one is fine. We'll keep it like that. Okay, I think we're done with her design. We might make her hand a little bit smaller, but most likely not. I think I already tested that and said, you know what, the big fucking hands is fine. That's probably better. There we go. Okie dokie. Done with line art. I don't really feel like doing too much else for her. She's not very important for this picture. Her design is not very important. There we go. All right. Now let's continue with some color. Let's just splash a little bit of color on here. Color 1. Let's go a different color layer underneath, and we'll do table. And let's just find a nice basic table color, whoosh, like this. In fact, let's just select like this. Whoop. And just fucking cut that out. Okay. Now we got color 1 there. Where is this paint? Right there. Let's duplicate this hand and save it on some other layer. Copy, paste, and then fucking delete that layer. Cut. Good. Okay, we've got her already done. We don't really need to do too much more on the hands on hips. We can use Cora as an inspiration for her colors. We can kind of start with Cora. This seems like a pretty basic coloring there, so let's go with that one. This is a high with a lot of lighting, so let's color pick Cora's top there. I kind of like there's, you know what? Let me find an unlit sort of basic color one of her season 3-4 look. Cora season 3. Let's go Cora season 4 design. Maybe that'll be a little better. That's pretty good reference right there. Let's copy this. This, I mean, yeah, that's fine. That's mostly a cosplay one. So let's copy image. Let's paste. There. Eh. Oh, sorry, what are you doing? There we go. Oops. Use this for a little bit of color picking to start, because I did have those colors in mind. I do like those colors a whole lot. What's going on? Oh, this is alpha locked. But I would probably have it end up being a little bit brighter. Like about there. seems about right for what I want. Okay, now let's cut away some of this. And we can just actually just cut away all of that right there. We're going to be drawing over some of those things, so we can just kind of go right here. Cut is Control X. All right, that's good to remember. Control X. Nice. Control X. Nice. I suppose we should delete, since I do all the airbrushing, which is not fully opaque. I suppose I should delete some of the unnecessary parts. Stuff like this to make sure that it doesn't appear behind some of the other stuff that we'll be doing. Good. And good. I think that's all I need. And there's just a little bit here. Okay, done with that blue. Slightly darker blue for actually, you know what? I can do. It's gonna need to be that darker one, or something slightly more saturated than this. Ooh, it's not bad. Ooh, which one? I feel like that one. That one's gonna go better with the Android 18 hair, I think. Hey, you're back! Hey, Skell's back! Welcome back. I hope you got all nice and clean in the shower. We are on to coloring of our drawing here. To tell you what the inspiration that we're working with is, what the did I do there? The inspiration of colors that we're going to be using is, we want the hair to kind of be an Android 18 blonde, and we want the outfit to kind of be a Cora blue. So those are the inspirations so far. Go here and get rid of that. That's going to be behind anyway, so it doesn't really matter if it's like that. Here. Oh, let's go here and get rid of this. There and like that. Good, okay. There. So now let's see the color on that Cora design for the fur-lined top. It seems like it's just white. Seems like it's just a white color. It's a little bit off-white. All right. That looks like a decent off-white color. Let's see how that looks. But her skin's gonna be kind of light as well, so we might need to change that. Let's add a new layer. Let's go. Yeah, let's add a new layer and do fur. Fur. We can just color this in manually. I have a feeling I'm going to end up changing this to maybe a slightly more saturated, maybe slightly redder, browner, off-white. But I don't know yet. We can color this in, then we can easily change the full color later. We also need to find something with her hair and skin that does not match this fur. It's easy with Cora, because Cora has dark skin, and so that is easy. Like, it doesn't contrast with any of her colors on her design. She's got blues, whites. I mean, maybe this fur brown. She has that brown fur there, but it's a different shade. But they just had to make sure it was a different shade of brown, make sure that it doesn't blend together. But for me, it's the opposite. This warrior is probably going to have lighter skin, because I imagined a blonde Android 18 kind of haircut. So we're going to kind of take the same sort of blonde, white Android 18 look. And there I need to worry about it blending too much with the furs and her hair. So we'll just keep that for fur there. And let's go down to... Let's add a new layer underneath the clothing layer. Let's go. Clothing. This one is going to be skin. We're gonna have slightly pinkish skin. Let's see how that looks. Not bad, not bad. And we can keep that for now until we fix it. Cut this part here to make the erasing easier on us. Like that. Okay. That should be good. Now we can delete in a bit more fine detail. Let's start from the head here. If we're using like a light airbrush with the opacity not being totally at 100 for a lot of these things, we want to make sure we delete all these extra parts that are unneeded in the layers, because otherwise they might leak through to some of the other layers on top or above or below them. Look, that isn't totally bad on areas like here. That would be fine. Yesterday, I was watching the Bruce Lee documentary. I've talked about Bruce Lee a lot on maybe this channel, but definitely on Megan's channel. Doing collabs with, doing the Unravel collab with Megan Martian. I definitely talked a lot about Bruce Lee on that channel. But, like, I love martial arts movies, and I had been going through, rewatching, like, a bunch of Bruce Lee. Like, Bruce Lee only had 5 movies, and only completed 4 of them before he died. And then the 5th one, Game of Death, came out after he died, and he didn't have, there wasn't enough footage, so the studios just kind of filmed a whole bunch of new stuff with body doubles and other people playing his character, like obscuring their faces kind of thing. And I rewatched a bunch of, like, I rewatched all 5 of his movies, and then last night I rewatched. Well, actually, this was the first time I had seen it. I watched the A Warrior's Way, the documentary, because I wanted to see the new footage. Game of Death, the one that he died while making it, he filmed a bunch of fight scene stuff for it. Fellow martial arts enjoyer as well. Let's see. In fact, I just watched a new one with a friend today. It was a City Hunter, the Jackie Chan one, that was really goofy with that Street Fighter scene, the famous, like, him dressed as Chun-Li scene, if you have ever seen clips of that. That's a bad movie. It's a bad fucking movie. But it's very silly. And I had not seen, see, the fur and the skin are a little bit too similar to each other. I had not seen the what was the Bruce Lee? It's not Way of the Dragon. Bruce Lee something. A Warrior's Journey, A Warrior's Way. Bruce Lee, A Warrior's Journey, I think was what it was. And that one, I mostly wanted to see for all the new footage, all the unreleased footage that they had on it of the Game of Death. The Game of Death was, like, the intention was for Bruce Lee to be fighting his way through a 5-story building, with, like, a different, like a video game. It was like a different floor guardian each layer, and he would just be fighting martial arts masters of different styles on each of the floors. Yes, Jackie in the Chun-Li outfit. It was that movie right there. Oh wait, I'm drawing now. Let me put my mustache back. I mean, I'm a, how you say, martial artist enjoy. Yes. And the he invited a bunch of his friends. Like, Bruce Lee just invited a bunch of, like, friends, even if they weren't actors, if he just knew that they were good martial artists, to be the martial art, like, floor guardians, which is why you get Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, being a famous basketball player in the 1970s and 80s, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar being like the final floor guardian, and because he had been a student of Bruce Lee's for I think like 4 or 5 years, like taking private lessons from him. And the original version showed most of the fight between him and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but the rest of the movie, like, you know, was totally different. And the fight scene was way longer and more like slow paced, a little bit more like Bruce Lee's other fight scenes in the original version. And I really want to see the original version. The original version is so good. Like, that fight scene is paced like very tensely and nicely. There's nice funny build up to it. And my favorite thing about it was that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar looks fucking badass in that movie. Like, you don't expect a basketball player who's never acted before to be like a good final boss in a martial arts movie. But he during his fight looks so fucking badass. Saw the original one when I was a child, so I don't remember much. It's a very forgettable movie, except for like the final scene, because it really they just kind of slapped together a random plot, a random like mafia plot, and just like had to have things happen in a very forgettable movie. And then it's just really just the final couple fight scenes that are more memorable. The intended like what Bruce Lee kind of intended version. But the like I was so surprised at how cool Kareem Abdul-Jabbar looked in that one. Now the funny thing is, the original, like the intended version, I shouldn't say the original version, because the original came out in 78 and was like, you know, heavily edited and stuff. Barely the Chuck Norris fight. I would say the Chuck Norris fight, I don't think lives up to the hype. It's a fine fight. It is a good fight scene. It is very long. It's like 8 minutes long. And it's slow. And it does not feel like a climactic final fight. It feels kind of like an underling fight that should have happened halfway through the movie and should have lasted half as long. And so that one, it feels more like yeah, that one was, again, like Chuck Norris was his one-time student, so I believe he invited him to do Way of the Dragon, the Chuck Norris fight with that. But the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar one definitely felt like a final boss, and he looked really just so tall and fucking cool. And it's really fun to see someone as tall as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar doing martial arts really like a badass. Watching martial arts from when you were younger, you're only gonna remember the fights and not plot. Yeah, and you're only going to remember so much of anything when you're younger. But the reason why I brought it up is because tonight I watched City Hunter, the goofy Jackie Chan in the Chun-Li outfit movie, and there is a scene that references Game of Death, and so it's very relevant that I just watched original. I just watched the intended footage from Game of Death the night before, because there's a scene in City Hunter that references like open references to Game of Death, to Bruce's Game of Death, because it takes place in a movie theater, an empty movie theater, and Jackie Chan and one of the love interests in that movie, because there's several. Jackie Chan and one of the love interests go into an empty theater being chased by guards, and on the movie theater screen playing is Game of Death, is the Bruce Lee fight scene against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And this is like, 15 years later. This is like 78 to 1993. That's like 15 years difference. But they have Bruce Lee's movie playing on there, and then these two guards come in and surround Jackie Chan, and these two guards just happen to be like 6.5 foot tall or like 7-foot tall black guys with facial hair similar to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in that movie, wearing shades like him. And they do similar shots where like they are like kind of are sitting down and then like stand up and look like super tall from like a low angle shot. And Jackie Chan kind of like looks up at them the same way that Bruce Lee would at Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. They kick Jackie Chan in the chest and he gets this big footprint on his chest just like Bruce Lee does against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And all of these like references to that. And they even end the scene with Jackie Chan turning back to Bruce Lee on the screen and just kind of giving the screen like, good job. And then he turns away and just hears someone go, you too. Huh? As if Bruce Lee in the movie had done. I can't remember if they used mostly kicks. They certainly didn't mirror everything in that scene. It wasn't a one-to-one copy. It was just they did a bunch of those little references, like reference shots. The fight scene in I'll tell you what, the fight scenes in City Hunter do the capital crime, the best, most punishable crime a martial arts movie could do, and be totally uninteresting fight scenes. Just very uninteresting, forgettable fight scenes, except for two, the Street Fighter one, which is just fucking silly, and like one, the Street Fighter scene, and two, the final scene against the final boss is long and it is memorable and it uses a lot of weapons and is kind of fun. Is not the usual. It's kind of Jackie Chan using the environment and a bunch of items, but it's not super that. It's a little bit. But the rest of the fights are totally forgettable and kind of boring. And that was one of them where like that whole scene, I do not remember what the fighting part looked like, what the like violence looked like. I only remember the Game of Death references. But the not only was it, and the fact that it was referencing Game of Death, a movie that ended with several very, very cool martial arts action sequences that are like very memorable. In this movie, City Hunter, which is very like unmemorable and kind of bland and not entertaining in a whole lot of ways, felt so bad. It felt so embarrassing for City Hunter to be trying to reference this much better movie. It's just this City Hunter and Jackie Chan like 15 years after Bruce Lee's death, or 20 years after Bruce Lee's death, like 15 years after this movie came out, to be like openly referencing this movie, but just looking so shoddy compared to it. And it had nothing. It was just like, you know, a poor movie to be trying to reference a much better movie. And man, it was kind of unfortunate in the case. But I did do the thing like the Leonardo DiCaprio like pointing at the screen meme, because every time that they did a reference, I was like, oh, yeah, that's from Game of Death. I recognize that. Most recent Jackie Chan movie I saw was Operation Condor. I have not seen that one. There are a lot of Jackie Chan movies I have not seen. I've seen several of his American movies, and I've seen clips from several of his Hong Kong movies, but I have not watched. I think I've only watched like one or two, now like two or three of his Hong Kong movies in full. A lot of the others are just like, you know, watching clips of the movies kind of thing. And so I'm done watching Bruce Lee movies, and now I want to go through a lot of other martial arts, like, you know, actors. I want to watch a bunch of Jackie Chan movies, want to watch a bunch of Donnie Yen movies that I haven't seen, and, you know, just go through a bunch that I haven't seen yet, so that I get a good, like, sense of which ones are good and which ones are bad, that kind of thing. All right, let's pick a blonde hair color for her. Let's do hair. It's got to be above clothing. And let's go above fur as well. Hair will be at the very top. See, I don't recommend watching City Hunter. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It is a very bad movie. Also, it is very... it is a 90s movie, and it, oh, this was erased. It is a 90s movie, and it has a lot of things that would be considered very problematic by today's standards. A lot of things in that movie that are just like, oh, this would get so many people canceled if this happened today. That there's a lot of times when like I watch things in like, you know, my modern day life that I just go, I cannot share this with anyone. Where I just go, I cannot show any of my friends this. I cannot recommend it to any of them because A, it would like make me look bad for enjoying it if it has a lot of, like, you know, by today's standards, very problematic things. Or B, some of my friends can't stomach that stuff. Like, some of my friends have thicker skin and like they probably grew up in like the 90s or 80s and are like maybe used to, like me, like used to seeing the like more problematic things and then the change to them as time went on. So like we can still stomach a lot of that stuff because, like, oh yeah, this, like, we remember how things used to be. But a lot of my friends, especially younger ones, they would not be able to stomach a lot of stuff from those eras because they really are just like, by today's standards, they are not kosher. They are not good. And so it's just like, well, I know several friends that I'd be able to share this with, and several that would absolutely detest it and would like hate me for showing it to them. That ends up happening a lot. That is one of those movies that I do like that mix of hair and skin. Honestly, this is a good hair skin color along with the shirt color. I just need to fix the fur. So this is a kind of a good pick right now. I loved like old movies of him getting trained by drunken masters. Oh, Drunken Master 2 is like, I think, one of my favorite martial arts movies. I don't like Drunken Master 1 has some good, really choreographed. It look like fight scenes. They don't look natural. They definitely look like you're doing choreography. But the rest of the movie surrounding it, I feel like, is kind of boring. Drunken Master 1, and so like I don't usually recommend Drunken Master 1 to people. Just it's like, it's kind of boring. You don't really need it. It is nice to see the just the concept of he learns like the 8 different styles of the Drunken Masters, but he doesn't learn the one from the woman, the female master, because he's like sexist and thinks that he's above that. And just seeing like him do all of the different old pervert characters that actual is a good character. Yeah, like, oh, the good guy is a pervert. Like every there's always a pervert who's like a good guy. And by the way, that is Jackie Chan's entire, you know what, I just realized that's a lot of Jackie Chan's characters. Jackie Chan plays a lot of perverts in his younger days as a in like a bunch of Hong Kong made movies. A lot of his younger roles were like, he is a fucking pervert. He is a fucking disgusting man who just pisses off everyone and no one respects him or appreciates him, deservedly, because he's a little shithead. And then, like, you know, but he's a good fighter and he's silly and he has to, you know, make the, you know, save the town or whatever. It's funny him being just smacked around makes me laugh. He doesn't get smacked around for it, really. Like, he's Jackie Chan. He's the one. I mean, he's taken some hits, but he's mostly just like, you know, if it's actually seen as fun, like in this one, they regard it as funny. Like him being a pervert and being like a very, very like bad pervert is seen as a joke, is seen as funny. So he doesn't get smacked around for it. Like people like roll their eyes at him, and you know, the women who get mad at him are seen as like being uppity and not being seen as like overreacting kind of thing. So it definitely, that's that kind of 90s shit where it's just like, oh yeah, you know, women complaining about guys being perverted to them. Women, right? Am I right? Where you're just like, oh, I can't show this I can't show this shit today. This does not fly. But yeah, the what was I saying? Honestly, I like this outline with this color. I like that a whole lot. Yeah, Drunken Master 1, the concept of him studying like 8 different styles of drunken boxing and using all of them, and he switches between all of them, that's very cool. And the idea that like he didn't learn one of the masters, so at the end his master is just like, make it up, I don't fucking care. he's Jackie Chan is just like, master, I never practiced the eighth style. And he's like, what do you mean never practiced the eighth style? I didn't think it was important. Well, just fucking make it up, I guess, I don't know. He's just like, okay. And he wins by making up the 8th style. That is very funny, and it's great for that. But the difference between Drunken Master 1 and Drunken Master 2 in terms of just an entertaining movie and entertaining fight scenes and stuff, very, very different. And I definitely like number 2 way better. Number 2 has the has probably one of my favorite ending fight scenes of all time, because Jackie Chan taking on like the bodyguard and the politician guy who, like, in the like burning metal factory, like the metal smelting factory, and getting like kicked onto hot coals and shit against his real life bodyguard who's like a taekwondo kick master. It's such a cool fight scene. I just keep to myself when watching those types of movies. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I should do that too. I'm not sure which of the two I watch, since I don't remember and didn't know where there were 2. Yeah, there are 2. The reason why a lot of people don't realize that there are 2 is because they aren't called Drunken Master and Drunken Master 2. They're called Drunken Master and Legend of the Drunken Master. And that's like, Legend of is the sequel, and the original is just called The Drunken Master. And so a lot of people, they watch Legend of the Drunken Master and go like, oh yeah, I love Drunken Master. And I go like, well, which one? Because there were 2, both starring Jackie Chan, but they were like 10 years apart from each other. At least. They might even be even longer than that, because it was one of his first ones, I think. I think he was a pretty young guy in the first one. All right, let me see. Fur there. Let's change the fur. Let's add a brown for the other fur. I feel like if we go that color, it's gonna be too much like Korra, so maybe we should go a little bit lighter. Now, the person who did say that they were wearing furs, like the person who made the drawing did say that. So that is what they requested. There we go. All right, like that, and around like this. Let's see, is that a good... Might be too recognizable as Korra. What could we do to make it a little bit more original? We could make it a different color. We want something that blends well. Still looks like fur. What would be good? Maybe sort of a mottled grayish color. No, not like that. Yeah, sort of a grayer color would be better. It's not going to be as like recognizable as fur. But that's good. That's enough. We can just keep that. My pops got me into those types of movies. I remember trying to the crane style and fell off the bed. That's very funny. That's very funny. A kid practicing crane style kung fu on their bed and just falling off is very funny. I mean, I'm very sorry that you got hurt, but that was very funny. I can just imagine, because like that's the worst place to try and stand on one leg is on a bed. Jesus. Which is great. I don't think I ever practiced, like pretended to practice martial arts or pretended to do any martial arts when I was a kid. I don't think I watched many martial arts movies as a kid. Besides maybe a few American movies, a few like American Jackie Chan movies kind of thing. Like, you know, Rush Hour and Shanghai Noon and that kind of thing. Besides those ones, I don't think I watched too many movies with martial arts in them as a kid. It was mostly like college. When I got to like high school, college type of age, I started watching a few more. Fur, we gotta adjust the color here. Where is this color? That is skin color. I'm gonna go a bit brighter. Let's still go yellow. No, shouldn't go yellow. Maybe we should go a little bit redder. No, we can't. Maybe just stark white. Stark white looks like yeah, stark white's probably the right answer. Or slightly. Yeah, something like that. Something like, yeah, in between those two. Good. All right, that works. We can do that. Dude tripped me. I actually tried the drunken fist while being drunk, and my dad was like, how about you try it on me? And the dude tripped me. Oh my god. Your dad is fucking brutal. Hey fucking drunk asshole, why don't you come over here and try your drunken fist? Why don't you try your drunken fist on me, huh? And then fucking don't you know, drunken boxing, you're supposed to like use the tripping to your advantage and fucking somersault and do crazy monkey shit. Why aren't you fucking doing that? Why aren't you fucking being a drunken monkey? Come on. Don't you realize you're supposed to use your imbalance to your advantage? That's where you failed. You gotta do the fucking JoJo. Ah, I wanted you to trip me. Turns out tripping is where my power comes from. You see, I get my power. I charge up power by being tripped. And so you've actually just helped me. Nani? Alright, what color should we make her eyes? We were drinking, watching martial arts movies. A great combo. A great combo for safety. A great combo for things to be perfectly safe. Let's go a light blue with her eyes. Let's go clothing there. I think I'm gonna like that light blue. Maybe. I feel like it needs to be a little bit grayer or darker. a bit better. Let's draw some dark colors for it at the bottom. And some lighter colors. Let's go this one again. And now some whites over the top. White here. Good, that's pretty good. Like that. All right, and let's recolor in that skin color there. Oh, no, wait, we want to just delete the eye color that we added on that. Good, that's good. Good eye color there. Good couple tritone eye color. Remember Karate Kid, after the movie, I had asked my pops if one could actually learn karate like that. Motherfucker made me take off my jacket for 3 hours. I see your dad subscribes to the lessons of, like, hey, let me torture my kid for fun. Let me torture my kid for the fucking laugh of it. All right, we got those. We got that. We got those lines. We want to do those lines. We want to delete a little bit of those lines. Let's get back to this. Get rid of this right here. Don't need that. Don't need that little bit like that. This little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here. Dude is a freaking troll. Sounds like it. Sounds like he gets his yucks by just fucking around with his kids. Which I cannot say I wouldn't be tempted to do if I had kids, but I probably wouldn't do it. I'd probably want to hold back a little bit. I like that without that line there. Wait a minute, what is the... Where's that sketch layer? That sketch layer. Do we need anything else on that layer? No, right? We can just delete that. Awesome. Cool. Wait, no, but what's that one then? There. So it's the same layer as that one. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Good. Excellent. Let's get rid of this. Fur. Wait a minute. There. Here. Okay, and I think this is the same spot that we can get rid of here. Yes, excellent. Good, okay. And skin goes. We need to get rid of this clothing right here. There we are. You ever watch Stephen Chow movies? I don't think I've seen any Stephen Chow movies. Yeah, I don't think so. Doesn't quite ring any bells to me. Well, let's get rid of the table here. Good, so she's done. And now we can do this girl here. Hold on one second, I'm gonna put my jacket back on. I took my jacket off, let me get it back on. Tell me a little bit about the Stephen Chow movies, you've seen. What kind of ones you'd like recommend or that I might have heard of. If he has a particular style, something he's known for. There we go. Much warmer now. Much warmer. I got my jacket on. They are hilarious. I would recommend Shaolin Soccer if you ever watched. Oh, I've heard of Shaolin Soccer. Yeah, I haven't seen that one. Is Stephen Chow a director or an actor? And is it anything like Kung Fu Hustle type of movies? Both actor and director? I mean, that might be the case considering Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan both did the same thing, acted and directed. Yes. Because I've seen Kung Fu Hustle. I don't know, is Kung Fu Hustle also Stephen Chow, or is it just sort of a similar style? Let's here, we're kind of big on this. Let's color pick here. She's going to be a little bit darker skin, maybe. That's him? Oh, okay. Then I have seen one Stephen Chow movie, Kung Fu Hustle, but not any others. I've seen stuff like Shaolin Soccer, like just on, like people obviously talk about it, and I've seen it on, recommended lists whenever I go to streaming services or YouTube or things. Just never seen that one in particular. Whoops. Do you have a favorite Stephen Chow movie? Is it Shaolin Soccer? And like this here. Oh, whoops. That went too far into that. Love this movie because it's more comedic martial arts. Comedy and martial arts go so well hand in hand with each other. Which is why Jackie Chan movies are usually so entertaining. Here we go. We gotta get rid of that. Alright. Get rid of this. You have one, but it's really long ago, so I don't really remember. I see. So have you watched any, a lot of the Kung Fu movies you watch, you talk about being from childhood. Do you watch many Kung Fu movies now, many martial arts movies now? Like what do you think what are some recent ones that you've seen? Or actually, are there any like recent ones that you've seen for the first time that you had never seen as a kid? They're just like, oh yeah, like last year I watched this one that I never saw before. Shaolin Soccer is kind of a new one, right? So it could be some Stephen Chow stuff. This area here. My friend in college was the one who introduced me to a bunch of martial arts movies that I had not seen before. And then in high school, like one of my friends in high school introduced me to a bunch of funny stuff. And then my friend in college, different friend, introduced me to a bunch more of the serious stuff. And it was between them that a lot of my early knowledge, high school, college age, came. But now as an adult, like I either rewatch stuff I watched or watch like full versions of stuff that I'd only seen like clips of. Don't really go out of your way to look for new ones, so I watch old ones. Wu-Tang era. That ain't nothing to fuck with. One I remember off the top of my head is 36 Chambers. It's the name of a Wu-Tang album. Oh, we're gonna do this. "36 Chambers of Shaolin." I know this. All of these are referenced. Like everything that you just said gets referenced by the Wu-Tang Clan, the rap group Wu-Tang Clan, because one of their albums is named 36 Chambers. Or is it just a song, 36 Chambers? I think it's the album is called 36 Chambers. And it's all because they are huge fucking weebs. Huge fucking, like, kung fu nerds who just reference kung fu in a bunch of their songs and stuff. And so every time you're saying all this stuff, I'm just like, oh yeah, like the Wu-Tang album. Oh yeah, like the Wu-Tang album. I should probably redo the line color of this girl. It looked good on Warrior Lady to have this purpley line color, but on this girl, it is not going to go as well. She's much browner of a base as opposed to blonde and blue. speaking of Wu-Tang, do you guys know Too Mellow, the mashup musician who I don't think does a whole lot of stuff these days, but used to be kind of a good mashup musician on either YouTube or what is it, Bandcamp. Used to do some stuff with like OC Remix and stuff, I think. One of my friends was on one of his albums. Too Mellow, yeah. Do you know him? Or do you remember listening to him or familiar with him? Because he, since we're talking about Wu-Tang and 36 Chambers and stuff, he did a Wu-Tang / Final Fantasy VI specifically, crossover album. Heard of, but not familiar. So he a decent mashup artist, you know, making mashups of different things, and usually did hip hop with video game music. That was his shtick. And so he would do like Jay-Z, an entire album of like Jay-Z songs mixed with Chrono Trigger songs. And he would usually like, you know, mix and edit the Chrono Trigger songs to match with the Jay-Z music. And like a couple of his songs are really fucking good and really fun to listen to. And in particular, some of his, he made a Final Fantasy X Wu-Tang Clan album that he called 36 Chambers. The 36 Chambers, because it is 36 Chambers, the Wu-Tang album, and also the Final Fantasy 3, like Final Fantasy 6 being called Final Fantasy 3 in America as a reference to that. So it was like a double reference to those two things. And there are a couple of songs on that mashup album, 36 Chambers, the Wu-Tang X Final Fantasy song, that I adore, that I think are awesome. There's one in particular. What would you recommend? Because that has my interest. These types of mashups and remixes are my favorite. Yeah, I think you might just be able to go to look up Too Mellow the way you spelled it, and I think just on Bandcamp he has a couple of his albums like that, and if not on Bandcamp, then maybe on YouTube. And so if you like Jay-Z / Chrono Trigger type, or like Wu-Tang / Final Fantasy, if like either of those sound good, then you can probably just listen to those albums as he made them and see if there's an interesting song. Some of them, like the mashups, work better than others do, and some of them don't quite work as much. He needs to change the video game songs a little too much. See his YouTube? Yeah, I'm not sure if he's done anything new. I'm not sure if he's done too much recent stuff. He was mostly active years ago. But one song in particular from that Final Fantasy album, 36 Chambers, I love. There's a few songs that I really like, but my absolute favorite that I adore is Wreck the Opera. It is the opera from Final Fantasy VI, combined with Wreck which isn't a Wu-Tang song, but it's one of the Wu-Tang Clan as like a solo song. I can't remember who it was. REC the Wreck. And the mix of that with the opera from Final Fantasy VI is such a good song. So if you can find on Too Mellow's channel Wreck the Opera, that's probably my favorite song he's ever done, and highly recommended as a song. But a couple of the I think the Chrono Trigger album is really good. I think a lot of the Chrono Trigger Jay-Z songs are really good. There's some ones on there that are really fun to listen to. Otherwise, if you are looking for just recommendations of mashup artists, like, you know, hip hop and video games mashed up. Like I can give you a couple different mashup artists that tend to be kind of popular. You see them, but not on his channel. That's fine. You can listen to them wherever. You like, they might be on his Bandcamp, or if he's taken them down at this point, because that's why I think that he's probably not as active, because I think a lot of his old stuff he has taken down. It's not selling at this point. So if you just find them on somewhere, that's fine. You can just give them a listen to. There we go. All right, we'll keep it as that for now. Let's do a dark brown, almost black. Someone re-uploaded his. Good. It survives on YouTube. No, we should do fur hair shit. I suppose fur, because it would be underneath, right? Fur, we're gonna go dark here. Adjust all these as we need to later on. Let me know if you are able to listen to some of the songs, and if you listen to a couple, then if you have any that you particularly enjoy, or if you don't enjoy them. I'd love to hear that too. Alright, we'll keep those glasses as that, but it's probably going to change a little bit. Let's go on the clothing layer. Well, actually, what layer is this? Let's go sort of a white. Doesn't do it tomorrow. Gotta say, oh, cool. Yeah, on 3/6 chambers, I definitely recommend Wreck the Opera, but there's a couple fun ones. I think Run or The Escape, or whichever one is called, is also really, really fun on that album. But I think the Chrono Trigger Jay-Z one, it probably has more consistency on like really cool. Let's see, this one is not very on just really cool sounding songs. Let's see, can I get bigger? That maybe we should just keep it white. Maybe we should do a little bit. Sorry to say, but I have a date tomorrow, so I'm gonna head to sleep. Well, then you enjoy your sleep, get plenty of rest. I want you to have lots of energy for your date, so that you can be sharp-minded, witty, and a lovely person, and that the two of you have a lot of fun. So I'm only have about, like, 20-30 minutes at most left, so you're not missing too much. I'll upload the picture all done to Twitter, so feel free to check it out tomorrow when it's all done, when you're all done. And then we'll just be doing another Pokemon stream later tonight, so if you happen to be back home then, great. If you are not, and then I'll see you the next time I see you with more stuff on, like, Tuesday through Thursday. Thank you for the stream. Good night. Bye-bye. See you later, Scal. Have a good night. Do not let the bed bugs bite. We'll need to change these glasses color. We don't want all browns and everything. Do we give her a solo cup? No, we don't give her a solo cup. We have her, she's gonna have sort of a orangey golden top, kind of. that, maybe. Clothing, I can't intercept with that, so I need to go a little bit farther away. Well, it's not really gonna intercept with it if I do it like that. I could go a little bit lower. Looking perfect. I really like how she's coming out. I think maybe slightly orangier. Yeah, something like that. Not quite as saturated. That's about what I want, I think. Okay, good. Yeah, I really like how the Warriors' colors came out. This is exactly like the colors that I was hoping that it would look like. And so I'm glad that I was able to do that. And she definitely looks reminiscent of the characters I wanted her to look reminiscent of, without instantly being recognizable as them, which is good. That's weird. Wait a minute. Oh, that's her coloring too. Well, I don't think it crossed over at all, so I think I'm still safe. But dang, I definitely should have done it on a different layer. I just need to make sure not to cross over there. And that is okay to go on the hand. Yes, excellent. Okay. Good. We're looking good. We're looking good. Okay. Delete more finely. Turtlenecks on female characters always need to be yellow. That's just the rule. I don't know why it's the rule, but they always need to be some sort of shade of yellow. Can be an off-white, but it's got to have some sort of yellowness to it, and I don't know why. But I agree with it. Yellow turtlenecks are just the way to go. Same thing with if people have a jumpsuit. Any kind of jumpsuit, doesn't matter what the jumpsuit is for, what franchise it's in, a jumpsuit's gotta be yellow. Honestly, that might be a Bruce Lee thing. That might literally be because Bruce Lee wore an iconic yellow jumpsuit in Game of Death. And people just sort of associated it with action after that. I mean, it was a very influential movie. He was a very influential person. That, like, it's totally feasible, not necessarily true, but totally feasible. I wonder if there was, like, yellow clad action stars before Game of Death, before 1973. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but that doesn't mean much. color was Flash Gordon's outfit? Red? Flash Gordon. Yeah, Flash Gordon was red, it looks like. There's Freddie Mercury himself. Yellow-clad action hero. For that yellow, was it Live Aid outfit that he wore, or was he just in the... I think he started in the yellow jacket and Live Aid. I believe he might have just been in that white tank top, but I can't remember if he started with the yellow jacket or not, if that was a different concert. So that drink... could be this color. But will probably be a different color, but this girl we definitely, except for the shirt, I love the shirt color. Her skin color is fine too. She's definitely gonna be like, well, we got a base color down, now we can just alpha lock and change whatever we want to about it. Because I definitely want to change her glasses, the outlines. Let's change the outlines first. So there's that layer. And that layer. Let's go super brown, almost black like that. Fine, and now this layer here. I don't really need to worry about her on the left. Oops. All right, now let's adjust colors. This hair color I want to change. Here, maybe a little bit brighter. Looks a little too similar to the furs. Ooh. Do sort of a gradient look like that. A little bit more golden. That seems fine. Glasses, which layer was the glasses on? Fur, definitely need to switch those. red is probably better. Redder is better. That orange is good, and now the cup. Browner on that. Let's go a little bit lighter on. No, it looks a little too similar to her hand color. Needs to be a bit. I feel like it needs to be a bit darker. Not that dark. Maybe lighter, maybe go the opposite direction. Yeah, that's fine. You know what? Doesn't look great, but it's fine. Okay, I just need her glasses, and then I think it is officially done. There. What is this? An extra layer on the back. Table being the lowest, yeah. This paint layer needs to be super dark. Let's get rid of those there. So first let's get rid of the unnecessary table line there. And now let's get rid of this unnecessary line there. Good. She needs her glasses, and we need to get rid of those little lines there. All right, let's do just a single underneath the fur. All right, let's just do a single layer for glasses. We can just kind of lower opacity if we want to. Let's go on this layer. Start white. This is opacity up. Swing. Does that work? No? Oh, right. Here we go. Swing. Okay, I think I'm done. I think that's it. I think that's the picture. Don't really need much more than that. Let's just add maybe a background color. Like a deep red. Thank you very much. I'm gonna delete all that. There a clear layer, remove layer, paste layer, layer flatten, select group. No, there's no. Well, let's just go. Collect all of it and just cut. Try again. Hey, wait a minute. It just kind of cut the whole layer. Instead. Ooh. I want this or not? Gotta make sure to cover up those eyes with whites. Oh, and I never drew her lips in. Oh, and I never drew her scars. I completely forgot about her scars. Use this for the bottom lip. Get a little bit darker for the top lip. Maybe we'll go all the way to the edge. First smile with her lips. Yeah, I think that's fine. No, I like it better when it's more like that. Let's draw some scars on her. Add a new layer of skin for scars. What is in between those two colors? That's a good scar color. Bicep scars are cool. And a bunch on her hands too. Her hands are gonna be very scarred up. There, okay, that works. I think I just like that. Good. Okay, she's got scars. She's got, we've got the background there. I can't decide between the different background colors. Like, I kind of like this deep red color, but I wonder whether I should do 100 or like 80 or like 50. 50, you can barely see it. It's just sort of a little bit of background shading. And I want it to be visible. Maybe 60 is good. 60 looks pretty good. Let's export one of them as 60. Export. We'll do JPEGs. $50 red, sorry, 60 red. Save. One at 80 red. Export 80 red. And one at 100 red. Okay, I feel good about this. I feel good about this. we've got our picture of our warrior woman. Let me repeat what she is all about. Now that we are all done, let me change the music as well to that new song. As we just celebrate a new completed picture. Where is she on this? I think it's this next one. All right. To repeat the information about this character, this is from Teratius on Reddit, and they gave me 2 characters, and I chose this one between the 2. And their description of her, let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see her. The description is, there's the outgoing, bombastic female human Echo Knight fighter. She's practically got the build of He-Man, in that she's not some picturesque scrawny woman warrior, but one that works hard on her body as much as she does her skill with weapons, and wears leather armor lined with furs. So we're kind of got some leather and furs. It doesn't really look like she's in armor mode right now. Of course, it looks like she's kind of in off-duty mode. While using a halberd, which we didn't draw the halberd, her weapon, because she's kind of in bar flirting mode. Halberd to control the battlefield. Hair is of medium length, clean but unkempt looking. I guess it's not really unkempt. It looks pretty kempt at the moment. Unkempt looking as if she's just been taking a knife to it all her life. That was the inspiration behind this cut. Is the Mulan cutting her hair with the sword scene, and kind of gave sort of a mid, like sort of chin length slice look like that. Skin shows scarring from many a haphazard adventure in battle, so there's quite a few scars right there. I definitely think they make the arm look good. You'd have trouble telling her apart from a barbarian, which is, fighters and barbarians are different classes in D&D at first glance. She's regularly using her echo in a fit of drunkenness to teleport around a tavern, grabbing drinks hanging from rafters as she chugs them, picking little fights with other tavern goers, and trying to swoon their women. Sick. It should be woo their women, but trying to woo their women. And that is that scene right here. Just a nerdy girl getting flirted with by big buff lady and her big buff shadow. And I think that is an adorable scene. And I think hopefully Teratius will enjoy it. And I enjoyed drawing this echo. That was the main reason why I was interested in doing it. Not only the poses, to practice a little bit of flirtatious posing, big buff ladies. I definitely like drawing muscles and stuff. Muscles have geometric shapes to them, kind of diamond shapes to them, that make them, I feel like, a little bit easier to draw than just curved soft skin, because you can kind of think in straight lines a little bit more, and blockier pieces, as opposed to softer, less toned bodies. It's harder to tell where one body part kind of ends and one part kind of begins, and so it's a little bit harder to tell where the joints go and what the angle should be. But muscular bodies feel like they are made of very visible building blocks, where there's this part, then that part, then that part, then that part, and it feels like it's a little bit easier to piece around together. So I'm glad I got to draw a big buff character. I'm glad that the white outline looks good. I think that it works well. And yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how this came out. I'm pretty pleased with the pose, the design. It is that mix of big buff Korra plus Android 18 kind of design. And yeah, this is going to be the last D&D character I draw for a little while. I'm going to switch over to doing fan art for a little bit. The next couple of weeks, I will probably do some fan art of VTubers or video game characters. I think the next person that I want to draw is going to be Ninomai Inanis from Hololive English. Ina, She has always been one of my favorites from Hololive English, and mostly because you guys, at this point, if you've watched any of my drawing streams, you know that I love eldritch horror type of stuff. You know that I love tentacle monsters and slimy things, that kind of thing. And she's an eldritch tentacle monster. She's an eldritch tentacle priestess. So I really like her design. Ina is great. I agree. And so I'm gonna try and think of something. I think I have a cute idea for like a little mini, like Mimi 3-panel comic. I don't know if I'm going to color it. I probably won't color it, except for maybe very bare bones, like not even caring about lines kind of thing. But a cute little Mimi 3-panel comic, 3-panel sequence that I think would be fun. So I'm probably gonna draw Ina, a little Mimi Ina, Mimina, Mina drawing next week. And after that, it's open. I know I'm probably not going to be doing D&D stuff for the next couple of weeks, but I'll be doing some fan art and stuff. Haven't decided yet what's going to be after Ina, but I'll decide whether it's another VTuber. I like drawing other VTubers because it's very fun, because the whole reason why I got into VTubing is because I love VTubers. And so I really like want to show love and appreciation to a lot of the VTubers whose designs I love, whose content I love, and it's cool because you can participate in as a fan as well. And it's good content for the stream. You get to draw stuff that people know and love as well. That's the end of the stream. Thank you very much, Rockets and Skell. It's great to see both of you guys. I'm glad that we were able to finish this on stream together, and that it didn't require a 5th stream, which I wasn't going to do. And now it is still pretty late, but I gotta get myself some food before it gets way too late. So, see you later. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Thank you, you too. You enjoy the rest of your work. Have a good night. Have a good day. Have some tasty food and relax. I'll be back this afternoon with Pokemon Scarlet once again. The time might be slightly different than what I originally planned for schedule. I need to double check if I have a meeting that day. I have weekend meetings in addition to weekday meetings, and so I need to check if I have a meeting and what time it is. It might be in the evening, like 5, and so I might still be able to do like 2 to 5 kind of thing. It's not going to be too different. At most, like 1 or 2 hours difference from what's on the schedule. 1 to 3 is probably going to be a start time. Maybe like 1 to 4, sometime around there. So, see you later. Bye-bye.